Hello everybody. Angie here. I am coming on with ATC Make for my series ATC in the Alphabet. This is a series I created here on YouTube where I am doing a single ATC using something from every letter of the alphabet. So total of 26 makes. And I am finally up to letter Z, guys. Getting through it. It has been such a pleasure and so much fun doing this series with you guys. I have used up quite a bit of things on my desk. I actually have half of my desk is actually cleared away, if you could believe it or not. And that is impressive for me because it was just getting just a mess. It really, I mean, it's still a mess. Love me through it, guys, but it's still a mess, but I'm getting through things and I'm just trying to create makes and series and doing things, just trying to use up some of the materials that I have without going out and purchasing anything. And with that being said, at the beginning of the year, I started a challenge for myself going 3 months with no spending on craft supplies. And we are up to, what, March, last week of March here, and I am doing good. Woo! Thank you, Angie. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get this last make done. It's going to be real quick and easy. And then I thought, if you guys would stick through, we're going to do a quick flip through of all 26 makes. Just kind of reminisce on everything that I made through this series. Okay? So how's everybody? Everybody doing good? Let me take my sweater off here. And we're going to get this baby made. It won't take long at all. All right? And I even still have some, look at this. Excuse me. Some cards left. So, yeah. What? I'm have to find use for those. All right, guys. 26 makes ATC in the alphabet. We are up to letter Z, and I found this cutie patootie, and I took the time to fussy cut it out before I turned on the camera, if you can see that. And it's some zoo friends. So we could do zoo friends for Z or Z for zebra. Either one, but isn't that adorable? We're going to be using that. But before that, I thought we'd do a quick, let me grab a piece of printer paper. Oh, I'm out of printer paper. Hold on, here we go. Thought we'd do some inking and different things like that, okay? So let's start with some brown. And I'm choosing brown specifically, not only because I like the vintage photo, of course, but it's animals, kind of an outdoor scene, so I thought brown for earth tone would work well. And I'm going to go real dark on the edges. And then I'm going to bring some color into the middle. And I'm going to kind of go dark, but not as dark as the edges. Because next what we're going to do is a little water resist. Okay, let me move that out of the way. All right. And I'm going to bring in my splatter box for this because, you know, things can get messy. And I don't want my whole desk messy. All right. And then I'm going to use my spray bottle. I'm going to spritz a couple spritzes of water on the card, and then we're going to dab the ink away with a napkin. Okay, so let's get this started. Oh, that was some big sprays, wasn't it? We're gonna give it a second to absorb. And I kind of got a lot. Okay, and then we're gonna take a napkin and we're gonna pull some of the ink away. And see how splotchy it is. Oh, look at that. That kind of worked out. Took out a little bit too much. That second spray that I sprayed was kind of heavy. So let's put just a little bit more down in there. And we're going to try that again. I want some splotches, but I don't want it so in one spot. There we go. Let's try that. That's a little better. All right. There we go. Okay, that's a little wet. Now, when I saw these zoo friends, it made me think of washi tape. And I remembered I had some washi tape that I purchased some time ago, but I hadn't used it when I pulled it out. And it's these, oh, let me put that to the side, give it a second to dry. It's these little set here. I got these from Temu. Look at those, aren't those pretty? I haven't opened them, but if they look like the pattern on the little label here, I think it'll work. See that one? And see that one? And this brown against brown I think won't be too good, so we're gonna go with this one. The black I think will stand off of that brown a little bit better. But my thought was, if I use a strip of this, let's get it opened. I'll show you what my thoughts are. We'll see. Like I said, I haven't used this, so I don't know how well it is, but it's like a transparent washi strip tape of some sort, I guess. Let's see. Trying to open it without actually damaging the tape. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm hoping, you know, for the most part it looks like that. All right. Let's see. It looks like it will. And on a previous video, somebody asked me where I got some of my products that I used. And for the majority, I get all my crafts lately from Temu, guys. The price, you can't beat it. And I'm really pleased with it as far as craft supplies. I am very pleased with it. Okay. All right. So I just tore that. So we're going to come down to about there. I'll start with a fresh piece. Let's see how this is. I guess it's like a sticker. But my thought, oh yeah, that looks going to look nice. But what I thought was, I'm going to take a strip of this. Cut it a little bit bigger. Let's see how this comes off. Let's see how this one is. All right, so let's see if I can get it back to, oh yeah, it comes off really easily. That will work. Okay, so it is just a washi tape, transparent. Oh, I love it. Oh. And we're gonna put that right down at the bottom. And my thought was, I don't know, I like to make sense when I do things, or a little bit of sense to myself. But what I thought was that will look kind of like a fence. Does it kind of look like a fence to you in a aspect kind of way? And then we'll put them behind it, and they're all happy. They all got little smiles on them. And I thought, you know, hey, they got out of the zoo. Okay, we're gonna put them in front of the fence. Show, hey, they are free. But I'm going to put a little bit more on this side. And there are some words on there too, but I'm not really focused on that as much as the design. So I want it, like I said, I want it to look like a fence. Let me pull that piece away. Oh, it tears away really easily too. I like that. So I'll be using more of that. And I'm just going to kind of go over this side right here. So it'll look a little darker. Okay. And then we're going to put this in front. They're released. They're free. Okay. And actually, let's do some foam tape on that. I think that would look nice if I can get a few pieces cut down. We will try. All right, let's move that for a moment. A couple pieces on the leaves. Just real quick. when you get to thin pieces, it doesn't work real well. It starts wanting to curl and kind of break up on you. So you got to be careful when you're working with real thin pieces of foam tape. But we're going to get enough for this. One more piece I think will be fine. Just so it'll stand off the page a little bit. I'll save that piece for another day. Put that over there. All right, let's pull that backing. This can be a little challenge too. We're gonna get it. I have some tweezers right over to my left too. I should just grab those, but I never do. Everything's wanting to stick together. All righty. Okay. Let's get this baby down. Oh, that's really cute. And you know what? Right there would be look nice with a little cloud. Hold on. Let me grab my scraps. I just got a bag of scraps. I'm gonna see if I have a piece of blue paper in here. That's kind of a bluish. Let's make a little cloud for up in the corner here. Let's see if I can. Does that kind of look like a cloud? Yeah, sure it does. Sure it does. All right, let's put that down with a little glue stick. Right up there on the corner. Ah, cute. Cuteness overload. That's what I say. What do you think, guys? Should we stop there or should we put like some type of a text on there? I think it's cute just like that. I'm calling that one complete. Oh my goodness. Look at that. You can see the dimension. Got a little cloud there. And they're just as happy as can be. Zoo friends or zebra. You take your pick. All right, guys. That one is done. Hope you guys like it. This has been such a fun series. I have really, really enjoyed myself. I'm using up pieces that I haven't touched or even thought about touching in quite some time. And I've used up a lot of pieces. All right, there we go. We're going to go backwards. We're going to go Z to A, guys. Okay, Z, zebra. See if I can remember them without having to look at the back. Okay, Y is yellow. X, that's a fun one. I couldn't decide what to use with X, and I just literally used the letter X, and I really liked that one. W was wheelbarrow and or Winnie the Pooh. That one's really cute too. Okay, then for this one, I've got V, which was Vintage Vibe. That one was lovely. I like that one. Then we've got U for Underwater Life. I used some transparent stickers and a little digital in the background with another sticker and some word text. Okay, what was this one? P, Parrot. That was fun. I put some flowers, some dried flowers in his hat. All right, this one was S for Seahorse, and I used some glossy accents, made some little water droplets on there, and I thought that came out really nice. R was Rooster, Railroad, and Relax. That one came out really fun. And Q, we used Quail as also the letter Q with some dictionary page in the background. I did some gesso just for some texture on that, and that came out really nice as well. I don't know if you can see that. And quail egg, very pretty. P, we've got Photographer. O, we've got Outdoors, and I used some clippings and some fussy cuts out of a magazine and put that one together. N, Nature. M, we've got Music, and this is a statue of Mozart. And that was a sticker there. L, Love. Very nice. K was Keys, and I used a piece of magazine paper. I embossed it with my what do you call that thing where you score your lines? And then I just die cut some keys. I made them different colors, and I thought that one came out really nice. All right, this one was J for Jar. And I just did some watercolor splattering. I used some die cuts, used a little word texts, and I just put a jar sitting on the shelf there, along with a little bit of bling. I thought that was fun. All right, Ice Cream. I did some heat embossing and some water splattering on that one. This one was Holly Hobby. Right there, she's the main show. I used some burlap, and I cut out a fence, made a little picture scene with some flowers and just a little text that enjoy today. Very nice. This one here was G, and I just used a gold sticker, transparent sticker. We did some black acrylic splattering with some book page. Kept that one really simple, but pretty. Okay. Flamingo, it was for F. I used a digital. I fussy cut that beach sign out. I used some blue glitter to maybe look like just a little hint of the ocean. He's standing in the sand, another piece of burlap, and fussy cut out a flamingo. All right, this one was letter E, and I literally did the letter E for you and me. I used some book page, some washi stickers. I did some little doodling, a little butterfly, and a couple little splatters of black on there, and I thought that came out real nice as well. D, Duck. Again, I did some ink staining in the background with some water resist and just cut a couple little elements on that with that beautiful little duck there. This one, very feminine. I used some ink and again water resist in the background. I put a piece of delicate lace. I stitched around it, used a couple pieces of sticker, and C was for clock. And that one came out nice. This one kind of a library theme. I used a B for books and a library card, a clock. I did some little doodling. I did some white splatters, and that was it. And some staining around the edges. And last but not least was Acorn for A. And that was I think my favorite, my very first one. I used some digital ledger paper in the background, a little washi sticker. I put the acorns on a little black label, put a little floral element in the background, and put in some really dark vintage photo ink around the edges. And I thought that came out really, really nice. And these were just a few that I had laying on my desk that got me to thinking about this series. It was like, oh, that's a good way to use up some scraps and some small bits and pieces. and those were what I had laying around. I used this one, chipboard piece, along with a little sticker, a little stamping. This one here, I had this digital printed of the word life, so I fussy cut that out. Did some doodling around each of the letters and wrote, "This is life." That one was a lot of fun. This one was real pretty, kind of a vintage feel there. Used some gold butterfly pieces with some inking and a couple different kinds of paper. This one was some fussy cut digitals out of a digital piece that I had. And then this one, this moment. And again, just some different layering of some papers with a little crocheted element, label, and the words. All right, guys. Well, that was quick and easy. We were able to get from A to Z quite relatively easily. And I've got some really beautiful makes. I'm going to put those in some sleeves, put those away, and maybe I'll bring those back out in some future makes. I don't know. But that was very enjoyable. Thank you so very much for those that followed along with me. Again, this is a series that was open to everybody. You can do it at any time. So if this is something that you find interesting, do it for yourself. Let me know so I can support your videos. But as always, guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I appreciate you. Take care. God bless. And I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.